Hey everybody, it's Jane with Rural Haze, and we are here with Nick of Craft Lounge, and we're having Rural Haze Chat. It's our small business segments, and before we're going to get started, I think we need to take care of some really important business. What do you think?
This guy is a ginger mint paloma.
Is this for?
This is for you.
I'm so excited for you.
So tequila is the base, right? Because I was like trying to think of something that you guys would enjoy, since most of your boots come south of the border.
Okay.
I wanted to do tequila with it. We also bottle all of our own syrups as well, and so that guy got a little ginger to it.
Anyway, I hope you weren't planning on sharing this.
No, I wasn't. Fresh juice. I actually brought a bottle of champagne for myself later.
Okay.
So,
If you need,
In case you're wondering, it's after 5.
in the morning.
Yes. True.
Because that's typically my bedtime as a bartender.
Go for it. I mean, it's only
I've
Randy's
never actually done this.
lighting equipment.
woo!
There we go.
It's time to
Muy
party.
bien.
Muy bien.
Look at the little bottle.
So cute. 375. This is called a traveler.
So is it really?
No, it's not.
What is remember we had the discussion on what Veuve Clicquot means? Veuve means widow.
Yep.
And Clicquot was her last name, right? Wasn't it Madame Clicquot? And her husband died, and then she launched the champagne company.
Totally.
We met Nick at Brick 29. He was in charge of the bar, and he was the first bartender I think I ever met where you could just say like, "Hey, this is what I like, but make me something different." And cheers.
Cheers.
Which I feel like seems like a really silly thing to say. Like, I think if someone would have told me that 5 years ago, I'd be like, whatever, I like vodka and soda, like, that's fine. But it's been a lot of fun. And then last January, you opened
Craft Lounge, yeah.
which is like very speakeasy style. And so you go down, it's below Brick. It's like in the old Brick's above now. But you go below and you walk down a hallway and there's a door that says janitor's closet, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
it
funny,
actually
it's
says
like-
employees only on it.
Yeah, if you follow people who are like, they have it open on Google and they're like, oh, and then they turn around, there's another door and they're like, oh, and then they look right down the hallway. And you're like, no, you can go, and they're like, oh, I don't work here.
Okay.
Okay, I'll show you. But it's all very like speakeasy style, except for like the random buffalo head on the wall and the gargoyle painting.
He's actually a Triceratops / He-Man. It's got purple undies on it, and he's holding a damsel in distress.
Yes.
Yeah. It was painted for a charity auction for like a 3-year-old with leukemia.
For someone who worked for.
For Dustin,
Yeah.
which was my partner on that project. So we found that in the closet when we were doing the remodel, and then we hung it on the wall. One of our guests came in and was like, "What's the meaning of the painting?" Like, I have no idea. So she wrote us a story about it. Just redoing our menu, so we're gonna actually put the story inside the menu too, so that everybody can read it.
Oh, that's cool.
It's actually probably become our mascot more than Buffalo has.
Really? It's cool.
Yeah.
It's very like vibrant because I feel like the rest of it's kind of moody and golds and like very Roaring 20s style.
Yeah.
And it's very vibrant. And
How can a boutique and a bar work together and support each other in a community or in?
we've actually done this.
Mm-hmm.
Nick, we have sip and shops every month, and for our Black Friday sip and shop, he made a special cocktail. What was it? That was so good.
Champagne, and we made a lemongrass and juniper syrup. Yeah, and I put juniper berries in it, and everybody thought they were blueberries. And then, what is that?
Theyese are bad.
they're not blueberries.
They're not supposed to taste like that, yeah.
Like, yeah, you weren't supposed to eat them, but it's cool.
But it was awesome because he had like,
Well, I was trying to make like a French 75 without using the gin.
and he kept telling people that, and then they're like, oh, yeah. None of us knew what a French 75 was, but we didn't want to seem really uncool. So then we'd like go in the back room and be like, yo, what's a French 75?
Yeah.
And everyone was like, we don't know either. So we had to Google it.
It was
But-
pretty much just like champagne, gin, and like lemon juice.
The cool leather aprons that they wear, and so he was like all decked out. It was cool, but I think we were trying to, that was our first time really collabing. And so we had to figure out like, okay, how do we make it? So like we had his logo on some things, but I don't know, like how do you really launch it together, right? Like how do you come to it together? And then,
Totally. Well, now what I was thinking is I have a mobile bar cart.
that would be cool. Oh, I didn't
And it's
think
got our
about
logo
that.
on the front, and just so that way it looks like a reception desk when you walk in.
How would you recommend like if we were to do it, like when we do it next time, like what So you said like differently, you do signage.
Like signage. Yeah, I think I'd probably pull a permit too, so we can do actual liquor, which would be.
Can you do that?
Oh yeah, just gotta have a permit. Which I have a permit, so let's do it.
That's legit. So you just like add our address on there? Or
Yeah. You just pull like a one-time conditional use permit. It's like $20. And
Nick, what advice are you glad you ignored?
Ooh, I love this question.
see, well, so for me, right, surrounding yourself with a lot of positive people, I don't get a lot of bad advice to begin with. So it's not like advice for me when I hear that. I feel like it comes from somebody that like I care about, right? And nobody that I care about or cares about me has ever told me anything. Like, grew up in a really supportive area, so they're like, oh, you want to open a bar? Oh, cool. You know, like 98% of them fail in the first year, and like 98% of those fail within the next 10 years. Good for you. You can do it, bud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you'll be different.
You'll be different. Nobody ever told me any of that. That was the thing. Is like when I first experienced like a cocktail bar, which is kind of funny because all bars should make cocktails, but that's besides the point. When I first had like a good real mixed drink, I was like, holy, like what is this? Like advice that I continuously get on a regular basis is people are like, you'll be really cool in here if you had TVs. I'm like, no thanks. They were great, like Buffalo Wild Wings, but anytime you go into a bar that has TVs, all you get is everybody goes, and you're like, okay, like, can I talk to anybody?
That's funny because I never noticed that there weren't any.
Oh yeah, no, people do. And it's the social anxiety people, I think, and I'm like, this is a really social environment, so maybe go somewhere else? I don't know.
If you want, if you want like socializing, like this is your place.
No, totally.
And I think that's one of the cool things too about.
And that's why we have that
because
painting
they're
up
just
front.
Like, yeah, and if we're just like chatting.
Yeah, because then everybody's like, what the hell is that thing?
No, you almost did it.
I know. I work in a bar.
This is my jam!
And is how do you get started in this business, and what drove you to keep going?
Oh God, I kind of fell into it really, because I don't know that I woke up one day and was like, you know what would be awesome? If I worked the opposite hours of the rest of the world.
Well, you have a degree, right?
Yeah, I have a degree in accounting, which probably helped drive me into this, because accounting is super boring. So, no, I don't know. I just kind of like fell into it. I just actually started at Dutch Bros, which is like the most basic form of hospitality, I think, on that.
But it's also a lot of mixing. You probably like start to understand proportions a little bit, or
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, the science behind it didn't really come until we got into the alcohol, because then you're dealing with a lot greater costing products. So then it's
True, yeah.
like you can't just
whoa!
You're like, well, that costs more than we make. No, I just started working, and then it was like, I got a job in a restaurant in a bar, and had my first like real cocktail, and then my mind melted, and I was like, why aren't we doing this?
Where did you live at that time?
Oh, I lived here. I was in Nampa.
Because you're from Reading?
I'm from Reading, California, yeah. And I came out here
Did
to
you
go
have
to college.
Three girls who work for us from Reading?
What? Really?
Mm-hmm.
They probably went to high school with them.
Well, no,
Reading's
sorry,
not
their
that
parents.
big.
Their parents
Oh.
are from Reading. I had that wrong.
Oh.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
but small world.
Small world.
Anyway, well, we have to get back to the rest of our cocktails, but Nick, thanks for coming by.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Have a good day. Hey everybody, it's Jane with Royal Hayes. Welcome back to Royal Hayes Chat with Nick of Craft Lounge.
Sure.
Brandy's giving us faces like we are.
Maybe you should stay on track.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Paloma. This is Bottle of Vouv, which apparently is widow and last name.
Widow last name. How do you muddle your mint?
So
I saw you slapping it, but I didn't know what that did.
yeah, it makes it all like aromatic.
Fresh? Oh.
I mean, it is always fresh, but like smell. And then you go, wake up. Anyways, mint, muddle.
So
You
do
want the
muddle
oil?
it
No,
or
you
do
want
you
the
slap
oils.
it?
No, I actually in there I just shake it with it, which I don't think you're supposed to do either. Because once you break it apart, the collagen in the leaf actually is bitter, but all you actually want is the oils off of it. You smell my finger.
Yeah, I could. That's an old. I'm not doing that. I was.
But it
I was
smells.
bored yesterday.
Anyways.
Nick, how do you get your inspirations for your cocktails?
Oh.
Like, how do you come up with them?
Oh gosh. Most of it come out of a team, I guess. They are like so. They're witty too, and they're twice as smart as I am. So they just kind of talk and like, ooh, yep, this and this and this and this. Well, and ever since I started doing the syrup thing, I just went and bought every spice that I could get my hands on. So now I'm like, oh, it needs to taste like that. And we have an entire library there too.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, I want to make a bookcase because our new menus, I actually took old books and we totally defaced them and ripped the covers off. And then I used the covers. I got like an A6 binder spine.
Bible.
No, I have titles like The Egyptian Princess and The Wandering Jew and Bought and Paid For. I have a Hemingway book. And we just ripped them apart. And so now they look like old books. Anyways, back to, I'm going to build a bookcase. Put all the menus on it. And then put the library of cocktails books on there too. Because that helps a lot.
Have you ever had to cut somebody off? Or like, what was your like wildest bar story?
Let's see, my craziest. Well, so one, the price point of our bar really deters a lot of that. So I don't have to deal a whole bunch.
Yeah, it's not like you have like dollar beers.
Yeah, no, it's not like you're like, okay, buddy, can't stand up, like time to go. I did, one of my bartenders though one time cut off this lady who was drinking martinis and then progressively became louder and louder and started making a scene. So he cut her off. So she came up to the bar behind like of a full bar rail of guests. She came up to the bar and then started screaming at me about how she thought it was super embarrassing and that I'm a retard.
And you're like, oh, that was embarrassing.
In nicer like speak. About how I got it wrong. And I was like, I don't know what to tell you, dude. You got cut off. We all have to honor it now. This is just the way it is. Take off. We'll see you on a different day. Continues to yell and scream. Or no, I think she left actually. She left and I was like, huh. She comes back in, starts screaming again. I'm like, oh my God. Go around the bar, take her outside. I'm like, look, you need to go. Like you have to go. Come back in, start apologizing to the table. So I'm like, hey, like, so sorry, that lady's great. Telling everybody, like, apologizing to all the guests that are in there, because it's a moderately quiet bar for the most part. As I'm talking to the table, she comes back in, like, pissed. And I'm like, oh no. And I took her all the way outside, and definitely she yelled and screamed quite a bit. And then I actually passed her off to another person that was out there, because he wanted to join the conversation. And I was like, perfect, you guys talk, I'm gonna lock the door, see ya.
Wait, what do you mean you wanted to, did he know her?
No, he just was another bartender. You know, the industry people that come around, they come up to the bar and they're like, hey, I'm a bartender. I'm like, oh God.
So what did he do? Was he like, I'll handle this?
Pretty much.
And you were like, all right.
I was like, cool, go ahead and reason with the drunk lady. That sounds great.
Has she ever come back?
Yeah, she came back in a couple weeks later and apologized.
Well, that was nice.
Yeah, that was really nice.
Because she could have not.
She could have not, yeah, which, you know.
Where do you see your business in the next year? Is there something you're working on?
Yeah, so my dream is I want a warehouse. Why? So I can skateboard, which I don't. That's why I made syrups, because I'm hoping to outgrow our facility so that I can get a warehouse.
What are your syrups?
So
what's it called?
It's called house-made. Why? That way you can put it on your menu as house-made ginger syrup, or house-made tonic, or house-made cola. So I've always made ginger, and ginger's always been the most popular for us. Yeah, it's just. So mules is what we sell the most of. Like it's our number 2 selling cocktail because.
What is a tincture?
Everybody. So technically a tincture is like an infusion. It's kind of like bitters, if you will, right? So bitters are like super potent, like cocktail spices. A tincture is the same thing. It's just solo flavor. So like it would just be like super strong, like
and
say like angelica root.
Only ginger. What's angelica?
I don't actually know what the plant is.
Sounds like a crazy girl.
She tastes kind of crazy too.
She's great. There's one for a Moscow Mule and then one for
just.
Oh, you can actually make. What?
Yes, that's essentially what we're replacing in the mule is the ginger beer with the ginger syrup. We just start with straight up ginger root, and then add a couple.
Well, this would be good for like people who really like ginger ales and stuff, but don't want. Oh
yeah, because it's straight natural. You know what was really good too is one of my guys made us St. Patty's Day dinner, and he used that for cooking. He deglazed the carrots with it.
So are you gonna write a cookbook?
Yeah, actually. we're gonna definitely probably write something.
I used to have a cooking blog. It was like Chelsea Handler crossed with Pioneer Woman.
What?
Yeah.
Why don't you do it anymore?
I actually showed it to them last night.
Ah!
It was. I can be a blog writer for you. And
Done. I just bought the domain name. We'll definitely run a blog out of that, I think. Okay, business in 5 years. We're also looking to try and do another bar.
Oh yeah, like 2 streets away.
Well, we're not 100% sure.
Oh.
I've been putting my feelers out, trying out different projects, and yeah, building owners are a little weird. So
what's the
we're still
theme
trying
of
to
like?
find.
Would you do another thing? Well, do you call yourself themed?
No.
I feel like that's like a chintzy, like a.
I wouldn't. Well, so we get associated with the theme, which is fine. I really understand it. But like, so there's a dude from New York whose name is Sasha Postrowski, and he was like the first guy that kind of like invented this whole model of like kind of bar, right? Unsigned, no menu. Although we do have a menu because we're still in Idaho, so can't just. But he had a bar that was unsigned and no menu. You just come in, you sit down, and you're like, I feel like drinking something like this today. And they just make it for you. And he birthed that bar. Yeah, we're looking for another bar. It's going to be a lot more casual and bright. Lots of windows.
Do you miss the windows?
I miss the windows. Yeah, I do. It doesn't really work with like the environment and the atmosphere we got because it's all about dim lit and. You know, my name is Nick Boban, owner and operator of Craft Lounge here in Nampa, Idaho.
We're at in Nampa.
Our actual address is 320 11th Avenue South, Suite 202.
So if you guys are like in the downtown area, it's the
big Masonic building.
How old is the building?
There's a couple different things. The building owner swears that it was like 1919. I know bonds for the building were pulled in like 1924. So it was somewhere in that range of 5 years.
Where can people find you?
Online. Yeah, craftlounge.com. That has all of our events, calendar.
Tell about your events.
Info. Yeah, so
Those are cool.
We do all kinds of stuff. We do spirit pairings and tasting menus and stuff. So we work with the restaurant quite a bit. So our last one we just did was with High West Whiskey. And we paired it with a 4-course meal, which is pretty badass. We did a tasting event where we invite like the brand ambassador or a distiller or somebody that's really close to the brand to come out and taste everybody and walk you through the distillery's history and all the tasting notes of all their line and everything like that.
Well, anyway, if you guys have any questions for Nick, just drop them below in the comments and. We're pretty pumped about this series, so thank you guys for tuning in. Nick, thank you for coming.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Hanging out with us. I usually have a creepy little like hand that I bring out of my pocket, but you're lucky because I forgot it.
Perfect.
So, anyway, thanks for stopping by. We'll see you guys later.
Cheers.